It's time for us to do an inspection of this hive because I made a split about a month ago, let them raise their own queen, which means we're getting at the time now where the queen could be getting mated and start laying. And I want to get in there before she starts laying in my new super I put on there. And I didn't use a queen excluder because I knew they were raising a queen. So I put it right next to the brood nest area and actually put it under a super that was already partially filled. So today we're going to have to reverse it if I don't want to use a queen excluder because I want my top super partially filled to be my queen excluder. All right, let's smoke the entrance. Start by smoking the entrance. There's always guard bees at the entrance. All right, so here's the top super we looked at on a live stream, and we actually took out a couple of frames and extracted them for you. We actually extracted these two right here. So it might be fun to look at them. I put them back in here as wet supers, these two right here. So let's take a look, and just for funs, let's see what they look like after 7 days being back in the hive. You know, what do bees do? You saw what they look like when I extracted them. So, oh yeah, look at that. You can basically see that they've started to fill these up with a lot of nectar. Look at that. And you can see the lines that the extractor left kind of made them a little wavy. So they're starting to add things to them. Let's look at the other one. Wow, look at that. After 1 week, they're almost topped off again. And I don't think I missed that little part at the top. I think they're starting to cap it a little bit. Yeah, pretty impressive after a week. But what we really want to find out is, what about this super right here? So let's pull this top super off right now, and let's see what they've done after almost a month and the next super below. We put it on there, brand new, totally undrawn foundation. Now what I like to do is put my hive tool between the boxes I'm going to separate, and then I like to blow smoke in between the two boxes as best I can. All right, let's get that off of there. Now it's going to be exciting to see what the bees have done to this new super after about 25 days. Have they drawn any comb out? Before we look at this though, let me encourage you to please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. It helps my videos so much. Let's take a look. And hopefully we don't have a queen up here either. My main purpose of going in here is seeing if we have a queen and what's going on with our new queen. Now these frames do not look pulled out at all. Let's take a look. Let's get out toward the middle. That'd be a little bit better chance of being pulled out after a month. From here, it looks like nothing. Look at that. They haven't really touched them at all after nearly a month sitting there. That is amazing. Now let's drop down into the deep box and see if we happen to see a queen or if she's laying. That will tell us whether or not we should put a queen excluder or kind of reverse these supers. In fact, I might just for fun go ahead and put this super here above the super that they are working. But the idea of bottom supering, which is not something that I like to do, I did it here just because I was queenless, but I prefer to have this on top of the super. And I think it might have filled out quicker had I had it on top of the other super. I just don't like bottom supering. All right, there's a typical situation where we've got some new frames scattered about when we made our split. And so let's just take a look, see what's going on in here, see if we see a queen. I made a video for you guys, so drop back and look at it when we inspected this hive when I talked about the queen and how you don't want to go into a hive when they're raising their own queen. If you do, you could possibly kill the developing queen cell. So in this case, I know that I'm far enough away where the queen has emerged. She may still be a virgin, hasn't taken her mating flight yet, but I know I'm not going to accidentally tear down a queen cell. Now that's just a beautiful frame of, you know, a lot of nectar being stored and some pollen scattered about. So good frame. All right, I got my frame hangers over here. So I'll hang that one there. Now let's take a look at this next frame. I do see a queen cell down here. So I'm curious of what it is. What's that queen cell all about? This will help you guys realize what you should do when you see a queen cell. I know a lot of you see queen cells and you're always wondering what's going to happen, what's going on. Okay, look at that. This is an example of a queen cup. Now we call this a queen cup because it has nothing in it. It's just there in case they want to use it. It's a queen cup. A lot of people say they use the term charged. This is not charged, meaning there's nothing in it. If it had larvae or royal jelly, then we would say it's a charged queen cell. But for us, since nothing's in it, we're going to call it a cup, queen cup. Wouldn't it be great if we saw the virgin queen walking around? Or even maybe she's mated. It's possible. The weather's been decent. Been a little smoky in the air, but bees have still been going out. We haven't had the smoke like you guys have had out in the north, northeast. All right. Wow, I have eggs. I really do see eggs in there. So that means that deep in these cells, that the queen has laid eggs. So the queen has been mated. And there's another queen cup over here on this corner. So I'm really surprised. Here's another new frame that I added in the brood nest area. When I made my split, I took out about 5 frames, carried off the old queen because we love her genetics. We wanted them to raise a new queen with the new genetics. Again, here's a queen cup on this with nothing in it halfway up. And that's actually on a new frame, you know, that's a new comb that I put in there. So let's just double check there's nothing in there. No, it's bone dry. There's nothing in it. So they're not really building, you know, to replace the queen. They're just putting these queen cups almost on every side of the frame. There's absolutely nothing in there. All right, we're coming up to another possible frame that the queen could be on because a lot of bees, and this is an older comb. It's not a new foundation or anything. Nope, got honey in it. Got nectar in it. It's heavy. Nothing there in the way of a queen. So let's just work our way across here. It got down to 49 degrees Fahrenheit last night. That was pretty chilly. All right, starting to draw some of this out a little bit. And if this frame is heavy, this will be the last one that I look at. And then I'll go down in the deep below because I want to see if the queen maybe is down below doing her thing. Let's see what this feels like. Yeah, there's a tore down queen cell, that a few of them there, where the queen may have emerged out of. All right, let's put this deep back together and then let's drop it off so we can go down one and take a look. Bees really get louder when you smoke them. All right, let's see if we see a queen down in here. This is the challenge of coming into a hive when the queen has maybe just started getting mated, just started to be mated, just starting laying. It's really challenging trying to see eggs or the queen because she's so new to the hive and hasn't really starting to lay like crazy yet. There's a lot of resources there. A lot of food, but just not much brood or eggs that we can see. All right, it's time to put this hive back together. We've seen enough. Now here's what you should do in this situation where you might open a hive up and you may see some eggs but not a lot. You don't spot the queen. We need to see the queen, and we need to see a lot of eggs in the next 2 weeks. Right now it's still early. We can understand. Heck, the queen sometimes takes more than one mating flight. She could have been out on another mating flight. That's right. I know we've always heard she takes one mating flight, but she can take more than one in that first week of her nuptial flying. But once she gets mated well, she won't take any more mating flights. But so right now, we need to make sure that we're going to see a lot of eggs. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I recommend you do. Go back in 14 days. In 14 days, we really do need to see a lot of eggs. And if we don't see a lot of eggs in 14 days, I'm not going to wait any longer. Heck, that makes it a month and a half. And I can't go that long without a queen or without eggs. So if I don't see a good amount of eggs in another 14 days, then I'm replacing her with a queen that I'm raising. That's what I recommend you do. That's kind of the timing. I made a video explaining the developmental cycle of the queen. And so when you're in this game of wait and see, it can be very productive if indeed you're waiting for a very strong queen to get into a good laying pattern. It can be very destructive if you're waiting and nothing's in the works. There's no queen. Maybe they raised a queen, she went out on a mating flight, and she got eaten by a bird or something, caught in a thunderstorm. And the eggs you're seeing could be laying workers. So we need to go back in 14 days and put everything we have into really knowing what we have on that next inspection. Now, if you haven't seen my last video where I cleaned up all my beekeeping stuff, it's so important to keep diseases down. Cleaned up the hive tool, the smoker, my gloves, my suit, even the lids on top of the jars that I use to feed my bees. Keeping all that clean is so important. Check the video right here. I'll see you over there.